A question for everyone, probably mainly Kyle. My girlfriend just broke up with me, and I thought she was the one. So this poor guy got dumped. It's been on and again, off again for a few years, not unlike Kyle's past experience. In fact, this has attempted to drive me to suicide and into the depths of depression and addiction, so hearing Kyle's story meant a lot to me. This time around, we both gave it a solid try, and it didn't work, and I'm ready to move on forever. I don't want kids or a relationship in the foreseeable future. I just want to have fun and fuck around, but I don't enjoy high energy parties or going to clubs, mainly because I never get laid doing that, but because my personality can't shine and I feel awkward. I'm an attractive dude with a good body, but at the end of the day, it's the personality that seals the deal. Basically, my question is, how do I be a hoe when I don't enjoy loud environments with tons of people I don't know? It's overwhelming. I just want friends with benefits, meaningless sex. And then there's a PS. I'm on Tinder, and I get a lot of responses, but it fizzles out.
Yeah, you want to be on like all the dating sites that you can afford, and you want to pay for the premium versions of them.
They cost money.
Yeah, they can.
What do you get for the premium version?
Various things. One of the big ones is you can see who's looked at you or liked you, depending on like the service. Things that help you get more likes. Literally, there are ways that you can pay to like boost and make sure that your profile is on everybody's homepage. Essentially, that works. Like when I would pay for a boost, like I would time it so that I was like, okay, people get off work at 5 p.m. probably home and like sitting in a chair by 7. If they're like, I just figured that chicks are on Tinder at 7 p.m. That's the hot time. So like, all right, we'll boost at 6:30 and we'll run through there, and like it would be so effective. Like as far as I can't read your text messages to women and see what you're saying. That's not like sealing the deal. So who knows why two people don't like, hook up or make things work together. But I would say it's really important to be direct and but not too direct. And if you don't know the difference, then you're just gonna have to go by experience, because you got to be somewhere between let's fuck and
talking. I've had success with the first one.
I've had success. All right, so let me just say this. It's easy to get a fucking female pen pal that you fucking chat with every day and nothing ever happens. Those are a dime a dozen. But so you can go that route and hope that this chick is eventually going to be like, oh, by the way, I would love your penis inside me one night. Come to my house. They're never going to be that direct about anything. Women don't really do that. So you're going to have to be the one that's like, come to my house. Like set up a date at your own home. Get them there. And, generally, often sometimes they're going to want to meet you.
Another
like
good
have
tip.
A bar near your house that you're going to invite them to. Like be like, hey, like I be understanding that dating is scary for women as well. Like you need to I would often like bring that up right away. Like be like, hey, I know it's a little sketchy. We just met or whatever. We just started talking, but would you like to go grab a drink or maybe something to eat tonight? There's this place kind of between us. We could meet there. I'm going to be there either way. This way, I'm not a crazy or something. Hey, look, tell your friends you're going to be meeting me there. Whatever you want to do, I want to prove to you that I'm not a crazy.
No, just show up. My name is Matthew Woodworth. And I'm from Raleigh. Keep a look on it. Yeah.
I will say this, like the first hint of being a fucking creep that you ever accidentally give to a woman who doesn't feel safe with you yet is going to be an immediate, like dry as the desert pussy, blocking you, stringing you along a little because now she's afraid of blocking you kind of thing.
Creep? Like if you say like, dude, you look great. I'd love to jump those bones. Creep?
It's going to depend on the girl.
You're like, aim for the middle, right?
No, you've got to get a feel of like
jump those bones.
I like that one, right?
I like that.
So like it definitely depends. What
if she's dressed like a skeleton?
That would be good. Like if she had if she was dressed as a skeleton on there, or if she had an eating disorder, that'd be hot too.
Yes.
Like let her know that noticed she's been putting the work in.
Right. Yeah.
She's been hitting that toilet 3-4 times.
Anorexia.
No, like you've got to feel that out to know if it's time to like start talking in a more of an adult way. Like, hey, you're
nice tits.
Like literally, like there's a point where you're going to say nice tits, and to her that's going to be a genuine compliment from someone she likes.
Well, yeah, after she sends a picture of her tits to you.
Well, yeah, if she sends a picture of your tits to
which
you,
demonstrates a like. Yeah.
All right, if she's sending nudes, then we're already in the home stretch, right? Like now you just have to like send nudes that she's not going to be grossed out by, right?
Yeah.
like
I just squat over my phone. I don't even send a dick pic. It's just my hairy asshole.
It's a GIF.
It's a GIF of my hairy asshole, and I'm
Winking.
like flexing it.
Yeah, that's
like
good.
winking my ass.
So
Yeah, that's how I get girls.
I guess my takeaway from Kyle's thing was the premium aspects of the dating sites are worth the money, and unless she's giving you hints, kind of aim for making this happen without being crude and outright like, let's fuck, bitch.
Yeah,
and here's another
initially
tip
you should be trying to form a connection with this person because you want a connection with them to some like presumably you don't literally just want a wet hole. You might want to like
it depends where you're at in life.
All right, sometimes that's where you're at in life. Okay, fair enough. But what I'm getting at is like your initial job is to form a connection and find out if there is a connection and find the things you have in common and talk those up, right? Like that's step one. If she wants your dick, like she's going to let you know so obviously, like within the first hour or two, and then you can transition into like just sending her your address. But like the main thing is like if you can make the date happen at your house, then you really need to make the date happen at your house. Like it's so much easier to like transition a date at your house where it's like dinner and a movie to sex or whatever it sounds like that's what you want.
I never did like the just come to. Well, actually, that's not true. I did that a few times, but usually it was like we'd like grab a drink somewhere, and that was more as a way to be like, "Hey, I'm a normal guy. Like, let's go grab a drink. You'll be able to see that I'm normal. We'll be around a ton of people, and then you'll feel comfortable enough to come back with me when you realize I'm not a murderer." This is when I became high level Tinder back in the day. This is what I also did: is I would get the in and set up the sex date for them to come over and us to fuck. And what I would do is after that was secured, I would start mentioning passively plans I had at 10 o'clock, 10:30, and they were coming over at 7:30. And so the whole time, like, I'd be like, I can't wait. It's going to be so nice to meet you. It's a damn shame I have to go to my buddy's thing at 10. And so they would come over and we'd have sex. And then by like 9:30, 9:45, I was like, God damn it. The time has flown by. Like, I got to hit you back up. We got to hang out again. This was a bunch of fun. And then I would go hang out with my friends and they'd be like, Taylor, did you do the Tinder thing again? where you like tell a girl to come over and then you fuck and then you have plans at 10. And I was like, yeah, dude, the plans at 10 thing works great. Cause then I would like just walk across the street to where all my friends lived in the apartment complex and hang out the rest of the night like a stag, like a single guy.
Yeah, I've definitely had girls like I had a girl come over one time and then she's like,
is that psychopathic?
No, that's
normal, right?
I think that's from Seinfeld even. Like having to get up early in the morning, all that stuff.
Why do you want that?
I never pulled the well, it's because I wanted to go I wanted to go hang out with my friends that night, but I didn't want to bring a girl that I wasn't really that interested in with me. And so I would say like, you come over, we'll fool around, and then my stars and garters, I've got to head out, and then you usher her out and she leaves, and then you go to your friend's house.
My dumb ass didn't contemplate the idea you'd be having sex with someone that you didn't want to have sex with again, and
not today.
Yeah. Well, not today. Like some recurring customers.
We're all done for today.
But like it wasn't like, and most of these girls also were not like, oh, I wanted to spend the whole night together. They're like, no, I got my dick. I want to go home.
Okay.
Like, and that's what they want. Like,
yeah, I've only ever had, I think like one or two girls. Like this one girl, she had pajamas, and I was like, oh shit. Like I didn't say anything, but I was thinking like, you just assumed that it was pajama time, and you're she's like in like a full pajama thing, like she had planned to spend the night over, and that was the first time I'd ever met her, and it was like, okay, well, it's fine. I guess I'm a light sleeper. I know you won't rob me in the night. We'll be good.
Yeah, I do that. Realizing that someone's spending the night when you don't want them to is a troublesome thing. I had that. I I fooled around with the girl in the bathroom of a restaurant, probably
What
5
restaurant?
years ago. It was called Bar Louie in Central West
Maybe
End.
you've heard of
It's
it.
an
It's still
Arby's.
there. No, it wasn't Arby's. It was Bar Louie in Central West End, and where I lived at the time when I was in the city. And I remember going there, and I was just blackout drunk. It was late at night, and I was like with this girl, and not with her, but I went to the restaurant across my apartment and met up with a friend of mine, and he was like, this cute girl is kind of into you, and I was like, oh, that's neat, but I was fucking wasted. And then we went all of us went to Bar Louie, and I saw a girl that I knew had a crush on me in high school that I hadn't seen in many years, and she ditched her date and we started talking, and then we went in the bathroom and she wanted me to do cocaine with her, and I said, no, that's okay, you can just suck me off. And so then she started giving me head in the bathroom there, and I could hear outside the bathroom the girl I was with prior to this like getting like pissed and like talking to my friend Tim, like, what the fuck is wrong with your cunt friend? And like I was so drunk, I didn't realize like what I had done was so like shitty. So,
was
like,
that wrong?
Yeah, was that wrong? And so then we just left and went back to my place, and we fooled around for a while. And after that, I remember being like, you want to watch an episode of Sunny or something? Like, and in my head, I was like, this will be the 20-minute buffer before you leave.
Yeah.
And she goes to the bathroom, comes back out, full frilly fucking comfortable sleeping clothes.
Yep.
And then it's like, okay, you're a real true piece of shit if you tell her to leave or you imply she should leave. You are truly garbage, garbage tier person. You have to let this girl stay. And so then it's like, oh, well, you're more than welcome. I was expecting you to stay the whole time. I got some Gatorades. You want some Gatorades out of my single guy apartment?
Blue?
It's green. It's the worst flavor. I've got 2 greens in there. Oh, I remember she was like, do you have anything else to drink? I was like, I have half a bottle of tequila and 2 green Gatorades. And she was like, that's fine.
Here's another thing, bachelors. Here's a couple things, bachelors who aren't getting laid. Get a trash can with a lid on it for your bathroom and don't fucking use it. Just leave it there. It's for women. And also, like, fix your hygiene. If you're not using the deodorant that causes cancer, then you just smell. If you're not bathing, all right. So let me explain this to some of you, because not everyone grew up with dads, and not everyone had a dad who was not a piece of shit.
Dad, yeah.
All right. Let's say you got a date at 8:00. All right. You're gonna leave your house at 7:30, and you'll be there 30 minutes to pick her up. Let's just say that. This is in a fantasy where like people drive in cars to pick up people who live 30 minutes away for dates. Okay, this is where I grew up. But you take your bath, your shower at 7 p.m. Okay, the last minute. Do you know why, boys? It is so that your asshole and your balls don't reek. Okay, I've had so many girlfriends be like, "Oh, you smell so good." And I'm like, it's called
because
deodorant.
you're a clean guy and you're
they're like, what's that smell? And I'll be like, it's soap and deodorant.
That's my balls, bitch.
It's called soap and deodorant. And I've asked women about like smelling it. She's like, women have told me that they've had guys that would like when he took his pants off, the room was filled with a stink.
Oh, good gosh.
Like he's not wiping his butt well enough or something?
No, just like BO. Like his balls and junk are all so sweaty. And like you gotta keep in mind, like this guy has driven to somebody's house to like it's red panty night. And like this is what I'm saying is like just be the best version of you if you're gonna go on a date. That's what you should be. That's the fraud that we all tell the opposite sex. This is how I am all the time. Like you should be spending the whole week to peak at that moment for your date. Think of that as well. Like if you're all right, is your house clean? Does it smell good? Are there shit stains in your toilet? Fix those things.
Do you know how many compliments I got in that like Tinder dating era? Because I had a nice apartment. I kept it very fucking clean. There was never like a bag of garbage sitting there. If it got mostly clean, I would take it out. And that was at the time where I was like into making candles. And this was a great end. And I would like have candles and I would like light them and they would be like, it smells so nice. And I'd be like, that's great. That's actually a peppermint candle I made a few days ago. And then you start chatting about things like that. And they're like, wow, this is what a straight man like candles. I don't feel threatened. Like, because they thought I was gay for a little bit, but then I got hard for pussy. So they knew I wasn't gay.
And they knew that you weren't strictly gay.
They knew I wasn't only gay.
Yeah.
In my
They knew
opinion,
I'd
They
dabbled.
still know you're bi.
but I think in my opinion, like you've got to be able to read the room to know whether it's time to start being more direct about like sex. Because if you start talking about sex too early, you are that guy who's getting memed on Reddit for like being like opening up like, well, I want that pussy. All right, that is the only time your opening should be I want that pussy is if her pussy is visible in her profile picture. I saw a girl one time, she had her tits out in her profile picture. It's not allowed.
I was about to ask that.
Wow.
But if nobody, but who's gonna flag her, right? Like who's gonna flag a woman?
I'm
with,
certainly
like,
not. I'm not gay.
The first thing I said was about her big titties in her profile. What am I gonna be like? Oh, so you like literature, huh? No, she wants to talk about
literature.
She clearly wants to talk about them big titties. Like read the room is the real thing.
And like something like I don't know if you've experienced this too, Kyle. Sometimes like when you were chatting with them, they would bring up sex first, and then almost as a way to reinforce how much you don't even care. You're not even interested. You're getting so much pussy that's not even tempting to you. You just keep on with your current conversation. Just be like, nice, and then you just keep talking about whatever other benign thing you were talking about, and that makes them think, damn, that little fishing lure didn't work. This guy's not quite as horny as the other 3,000 losers I've talked to on this app. And that makes them realize another way, you're not a fucking weirdo and that you're not going to fucking assault them.
And also realize that you are not a commodity as a single man on this dating website. All right?
I know.
Like there's like I don't mean it, like whoever's listening to this, you probably aren't. If you need help, you aren't. Okay, you are you are not one in a million. You are a million of a million.
What does it take to stand out as a guy?
That's what that's what we're talking about. Right?
You have to be like either have a body like Kyle's, like outrageously ripped, or you have to be funny. Like I had a better approach, like getting them to laugh or like telling jokes and stuff because like I looked good in my photos because I wasn't fat then, but I didn't, I wasn't, turning eyes or anything.
I think that like it's like having like thirsty pictures like I would use on Tinder like help to get like to the conversation stage. But if we get there and I'm a dumb, like we're not going anywhere from there either. Like it's definitely helpful to get to the conversation stage. If I don't know, your chicks are starting the conversation with like, with compliments about that, if that's their thing. That's
a lot of guys have gym pics where they look good. It's not that rare. Now, Kyle,
but that's all I put on there.
Well, a lot of guys.
In another way, that's kind of what I'm like. That's kind of what my profile is saying in general, right? It's that like I'm looking for a good time mostly, and when that's a question that I would ask a lot. Like, what are you looking for on here? And I think it's a cliche. It's probably like not a smart thing to ask, but it's what I really want the answer to. And it's also they're always going to follow up with what do you want on here, and then that's when you act confused. Like you should literally tell them I'm not sure, something between a friend with benefits or situation or a hookup, or maybe even something that leads to a relationship.
Kind of looking for a sex slave.
I'm looking for like a 90-pound Asian girl who will pop the zits on my back and
I'm looking for someone to fuck occasionally, but it's mostly a laundry and dishes job.